here of this game one of the two-game series between Falcons and Tundra. And yeah, can't wait to see what's going to be going down between these two teams. I mean, seeing these two lineups, Gunnar, is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to see whether or not it works out for what each of these sides are trying?
I haven't really been seeing too much of the morphling in the games I've watched, but I really like this as a hero. He's going the strength one, I believe, right? That's what they were talking on the panel. It's not the best strength morph game, I would say. Usually you like that into like a tiny, something with a really short cooldown. For him, he's probably looking to turn into Abba or maybe Snapfire, but it's not really something crazy, which is why I was saying, the panel was saying their damage is low, right? Basically, most of their damage, I think, is going to be Phoenix in the early game. But it looks like Maureen is kind of...
We're seeing quite a bit of that damage already here. Indeed, the two of them chasing down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the river, Crit, he's going to be the first one to fall. Saxa will find first blood here for Tundra. They'll lose Duracha in return, but Tundra getting the first blood, that's going to be what they care about the most. Falcons will manage to find the D-ward down on the bottom side of the river there. Able to help snipe that out.
I also really like the Bristleback pick. I think it was a good choice to put the Dragonite mid and pick something to kind of like destroy the enemy on the offlane. Because they show that it's going to be a Monkey or a Morphling as the pause 4. It's not really too strong, and so you can kind of crush the Enigma, make his game really slow. And the only other option I thought Tundra could do was maybe a Phoenix mid. We've been kind of seeing that in the pubs recently, but they didn't do it, unfortunately. So a little more basic of a draft.
Yeah, one day we'll get that sneaking through, as you said. I'm sure there's a lot of teams, a lot of players that are asking to get it through in one of these competitive professional matches. Yeah, this bottom lane. So how do you think this is going to go? You said having the Monkey Kings to 4, it's just not going to be enough to really slow down Skeeter's farm on the Bristleback in the safe lane? Yeah,
Bristleback's one of the probably like top 3 heroes you want to pick first. I think about it. So you got the Alchemist, the Gyro, and then Bristle is the big 3. So 33 is a really good player. He obviously, just that dual lane really knows what they're doing. So I don't think they're going to get completely outclassed, but it's definitely one of those lanes that you're going to expect at best going 60-40 in the favor of Falcons.
And what do you sort of think was the call with getting snaking on the snap by this game?
Probably just the Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's just solid versus Phoenix. You always can kill the egg. It's like one of the classic combos. You always see a Phoenix.
It's always going to be good.
Yeah, you see Phoenix, you pick like Jakiro, you pick Snapfire, you pick one of these heroes, kill the egg, especially when it's a support. It just makes it way easier. You turn a brain off as a core. You let this guy deal with it. Especially with all the tanky heroes they have, they're really bad at killing eggs. So it's good to kind of have a plan B for it.
So far in the lanes, I mean, yeah, as anticipated, it's been easy stuff on this bottom lane for Skeeter, getting complete free farm, and definitely a bit of a slower time for both sides off laners. Beginning of this one. So in terms of timing as well, this game, when you look at these two lineups, is there a team that you feel is coming into this wanting to take over the game a little earlier, try and get the shutdown sooner?
Yeah, definitely Falcons. They don't really have any cooldowns. You can say Snapfire, but it's not really one that you play around. You can fight with or without it. Versus if you look at Tundra, they have Black Hole, they have Phoenix Egg. They really need those two specific ultimates to fight. The Phantom Assassin's probably going to go Battle Fury, be a bit slow. So for Tundra's draft, if they get to this 30-40 minutes where they can consistently take team fights, it's going to be really good for them. And they'll actually win fight after fight after fight. But in this first 15-20 minutes, it might start to just get a really big lead for Falcons. And so it's really big on these lanes, I would say, and BZM in particular. If he's able to get away with this Morphling, maybe get really strong, some good rotations, some good spell usage from him, I could see Tundra kind of holding off the game and delaying it to what they need.
So far, mid-CS, just a little bit of an edge here for Maureen against BZM's Morph. Not one of those lanes that's a little bit boring in the sense that nobody's going to die here.
It's always so funny watching Strength Morph. Because you're always so used to it being that he attacks really fast, does a lot of damage. When he attacks super slow, he hits for 20 damage. But now it's like the opposite. He hits super slow for 80 damage. It's like a Treant Protector. So it's just a completely different playstyle for laning stage that I always think it's really funny to watch.
Yeah, just kind of, as you said, goes against what you've been used to with the hero for the over 10 years of Dota 2, right? And Dota, we've been watching Morphlings bottom lane. Looking forward here, Skeeter setting up onto Saxa. Should be able to get the kill here, and they will. They'll bring Saxa down. 33 also has to be careful, and in fact, snaking there with the snipe. Is able to blast him down as well as Falcons cleaning up both kills on this lane. That continues to just be a complete dream start, really, for Skeeter on this Bristleback. I mean, that last pick Bristle already looking pretty good, Gunner.
Yeah, it's just this lane is really hard for Enigma to do anything. You try to go in the Bristle, the Quills kill all your Eidolons, and even the Monkey King, I think as position 4, he wants to play more for an even lane. You don't really have this trading power that a core Monkey has when you hit level 3. And so even now, look, he jumps in with Skeeter being so low.
Maybe. Oh, they got him again!
That was a really sick animation cancel. He like pump fakes it so he gets the mischief out and he still hits it.
Yeah, snaking. He's having fun bringing the Snapfire into the fray here already.
And that's his TP. So now Soxa has no TP. 33 is going to be alone for a really long time. There might even be a dive if Skeeter wants. A lot of the times Bristol can just dive with the creep wave tank in the tower, and he kind of gets free reign now. At this point, when you're Bristol, you hit level this 5 timing. You can do anything. You can farm jungle, push the wave. His game is basically free. From now on, the next 15 minutes, he gets to live his life. And Tundra's only plays, I think, maybe like a Duraccio gate, trying to like gank him from behind. But it's one of those things that's really hard, and if you mess that up, then the game gets into this really stressful state. So now it's probably better to slow it down, accept the loss, and just kind of move forward with whatever you can do.
Radiant's courier has been
Saxa.
killed.
Well, we'll at least be able to get a little bit of revenge there, sweeping through the jungle, able to catch out Snaking's courier with the snipe. But indeed, yeah, Saxa, it's going to be interesting to see how he sort of gets himself back into this game. There's been a couple of painful early deaths for him in that lane. I'm sure we'll be able to see him recover as we usually do.
You can still always provide vision. Like Monkey King is one of the best supports at setting up ganks. You can send the trees with a stun. You can jump around, kill couriers. So it's not like he's going to be completely useless. Even who was it? It was ZinQ, I think, that was playing Monkey King and would be level 1 at like 10, 15 minutes. So we've seen it before. He doesn't need to have a good game to have good impact. And 33 as well, he's the type of player that even no matter how bad his lane is, he'll get something out of the game, will have impact. So I think, if anything, this is just more of a benefit to Falcons as opposed to just a pure negative for Tundra. And I think it's probably doable, especially with the fact that they picked Enigma early. It's something you're used to lose these lanes. Every Enigma player loses their lanes at some point to this Enigma gyro bristle, so it's something very common.
Now mid lane, they're going to try and see if they've got the setup and the burst to bring him down. He's a tanky morph, and he's tanky enough to get away there with the waveform. Just walks away from the 3 of them. Indeed, showing off their potential and power of this hero in that mid. Looks like he's relatively low, but just because of how much HP he has to work with, it's not an easy gank. It's not an easy kill to go for.
Especially with all the magic damage, the strength morphling is super good versus magic damage because he gets HP, he loses armor, but he gets the HP. And the only physical damage Falcons really has in that gank is the Dragonite, so it just makes it so it's almost impossible to bring down the morph with those 3 heroes.
Skeeter and Snaking, they're going to be able to close the gap onto 33. Saxa
might just dive him.
We'll look to try and help out. Let's see how much they want to try and go for this. They're going to be a bit apprehensive with the potential TP coming in. Same time up top, Amar, he's standing his ground against both Whitemon and Duraccio. Bottom lane, Snaking will get chased down here as BZM comes in with a rotation to back Saxa and 33 up and punish Falcons for their attempt at chasing down the Enigma. And top lane, Amar was able to fend off the 2 of them and ends up surviving.
Almost 1v2 them, actually. It was getting pretty scary for Tundra.
Yeah, they had to be careful.
This ABBA has actually been getting really popular recently. I think it's really cool of a hero to... We even see some... Especially with the ult now that you just like don't go your ult, you wait till the perfect time. The laning is really strong. And with all the Sanch and Yasha, it's just a really solid hero. And I think it fits Falcon's playstyle really well too, because it's kind of this like semi-carry that can also just be really aggressive and tanky. So... honestly, so far, everything's looking really good for Falcons. I like their draft, I like the way they're playing these lanes, and it's kind of fitting into their formula that they've practiced for so long now.
Jumped in here, Saxa's trying for Amar, but Amar just hit the level 6. So it has the potential for the borrowed time. There it is. And Saxa is going to get chased down. They've got him. Another death on the Monkey King as Falcons staying on top of Saxa's rotations.
So this is the big scary thing, which was Falcons having a good early game and kind of running away with the game, and Tundra needs to slow it down. So now on Tundra's side, you probably are going to think about maybe Whitemon should just stay here alone, push out the lane, kind of absorb this pressure by himself while Duraccio goes to farm the jungle, and you just tell your other 2 lanes to do their best, because you can't really expect Tundra to fight Falcons. They don't have the damage, and Falcons' early game is so much stronger. Anytime you just delay the game and it's just 0-0 kills, it's really good for you for the side of Tundra. And so even now, this is...
look at this. There's an easy movement from Maureen, right? He just heads up towards the top lane as Falcons are chasing Tundra down. Whitemon will manage to deny the neutrals. Duraccio trying to desperately survive underneath the tower. 33 comes in with the black hole. Will manage to hold back both of them. Have they got the damage to bring them down? They do. Maureen to fall. They jump over towards Amar. Great rotation there from 33. Had a difficult time in his lane. Turns up top, comes in big with the black hole, and shuts down both of the cores.
Feeling themselves a little bit too much there on Falcons. Diving the tier 2, not even 10 minutes in the game. And yeah, really good TP, really good black hole. That's kind of what Tundra needs, right? Every time that you get these like turnaround kills, even if the gold is still going to be in the favor of Falcons, you're slowing the game down. if they can make this game, you know, last 30 seconds here, a minute there, just because of like items, timings, it's always perfect for them. You know, it hits this like 30, 40 minute mark. That's when Tundra kind of gets to kick it into high gear and keep playing faster and faster. But for now, it's kind of a battle between showing up to the fights, because they also can't ignore Falcons completely and do nothing. So they have to keep showing up, but try to limit their losses every time they can.
In that sort of move as well, when you're diving into tier 2,
yeah,
like
you
that
have
as a
to show
team,
up.
Who on the team's making that call? Is it a Mar saying we're going for this, or Marine saying, hey, I took the time to come up here, I want to get the kills?
It's always the mid laner. You always want to keep going for these fights.
Yeah. Skeeter, bottom, talking about diving tier 2s. He gets away with it on his own here. Walks in, takes out BZM. Duraccio's going to try and punish him, has the help of Saxa. Boundless strike in.
2 more quills?
The quill sprays are stacking up, so Duraccio's got to be careful. Saxa really wants to finish off the job. Duraccio, he'll jump forward. It ends up being Saxa getting the last touch. And again, it's another bit of a play around a tier 2 where they're getting punished. Whitemon trying to get through the twin gate, won't manage to make it. Snaking able to shoot him down.
I think he might have clicked it on the way when he was trying to dive. He might have canceled his dive with clicking the gate. That honestly, pretty good for Tundra. Taking down Bristleback, I think you take that trade.
I think you do right, especially when you said, you know, Falcons, they're kind of concerned of getting ahead, and Tundra, if they can slow it down, they're happy. I mean, that's all 3 cores, effectively. What we had up top, Maureen and Amar dying under a tier 2, and then a minute later, you got Skeeter dying under the tier 2 on the bottom lane.
Yep, it's usually when you're in these positions, it's like you don't want to lose your mid, because he always has to set the tempo. But again, every time Falcons uses a core, it's more time for Tundra. And they're being really aggressive, which I really, really like, but sometimes maybe you gotta step back just like a foot, you know, just give them a bit of space, give them 1 creep every minute. But it's still working out for Falcons great. They're up 2k gold, 10 minutes in the game. They've taken out the top tower. Duraccio can't even lane. He has to just jungle pretty much mostly. So just really good pressure. Now they're gonna take the mid tower probably, and it's just constantly pressuring and going back and forth, and it's just Falcons Dota right now.
We're gonna get a lot of focus here around the mid, as Tundra will be showing up for the tier 1 defense. Duraccio, of course, also wants to get involved nice and early. I'm going to get set up here on towards Maureen as they jump him in the river. Be able to tell the Dragon Tail on towards BZM. Crit holds back BZM as well with the stun. The kiss is coming in, but immediately put to a stop there by Saxa. Aggressive waveform forward. BZM wants to continue the chase down. Jump forward from Saxa. He's in on top of Snaking. The shield's there. Won't save him. Snaking goes down. Now Tundra, they can turn towards Crit as well. Get the stun off onto the 3 of them, I believe, but it's not enough to save him as 33 cleans up the double kill. And after what was Falcons' attempt to set up for a push around the tier 1, Tundra, they're able to take the fight, take the defense, and now they're the ones beating back onto Falcons' tier 1 tower.
Really good outnumber. They kind of notice that either Skeeter doesn't have TP or doesn't really want to, and he's just sitting bot, so they end up having a 5v4. I also thought it was really scary because they were doing this before the Phoenix had level 6. He dives in level 5, kind of starts the fight off, doesn't even go down, so just really good by them. It's always about this numbers game, right? No matter how strong you are, how behind you are, if you bring more heroes on the enemy team, you can win any fight.
Absolutely, especially the early points, right? Yeah.
Is this gonna be a snipe? There's no way.
So he's going for a Snake King. He's got the blood grenade, but Saxa, Wukon's commands down, and Snake King, he might regret trying to go for that. He certainly will. Saxa stands his ground, gets him, and indeed, Phonic Shield's there in time. That will be enough to keep him out of harm's way. Mar able to escape the threat that's set up at the black hole this time round. But still, yeah, you can see on the gold, these little moves. It's definitely Tundra kind of putting Falcons in their place and keeping this game level and making sure that time's going to be there for this PA to inevitably shine as the moments go on.
Yeah, kind of getting a bit outplayed, I would say, in terms of just like the individual movements. They're constantly always showing up. You have the 33 TPing top, you have them 5-manning mid. Even now, you just have 33 gates bot. After this play top, he uses Black Hole, doesn't get a kill, but now he's bot, making more space for Duraccio. So it's just constantly outnumbering them, even though they're, I would say, you know, if you go hero to hero from like role to role, they're probably individually weaker than Falcons. But because they keep outnumbering them, they keep being stronger than what Falcons can kind of put up. And when you kind of get into this snowball, you keep starting to feel a bit weaker on Falcons. They get a little more worried, like, oh, now we just died 4 times in a row. Should we be able to fight them? And Skeeter still feels really good because he hasn't died recently, but for the rest of Falcons, you're kind of in this limbo of, do I want to keep fighting them? I have my Blink Dagger on Dragonite. We have Snapfire, so it's like, obviously you want to go, but now are they going to have the damage? Because now BZM's kind of had a little space, a little levels, and if you missed 1 more gank, 2 more ganks, now the game's kind of just completely in Tundra's favor.
Absolutely, it's only going to get harder. We'll see top, Marin, he's able to close the gap. As the cookie follow-ups from Snaking, they'll be able to change stun, Whitemon take him down. But yeah, just looking at kind of net worth rate, think back to what was going on in that bottom lane, at this point now, out of all the supports, Sax's Monkey King, he's the most farmed on the game after those first early 3 deaths that he had. So just goes to show how much he's recovered. And the same as we said, obviously for 33, had a slower time in the lane as the Enigma, as you say. Enigma players are used to having in a lot of situations. He's back on level with everybody else. So I think, yeah, considering how the opening went, Tundra, they're going to be feeling pretty good. And Falcons, they've definitely got to get things flowing a bit more smoothly. They're going to try and attempt for 33. They'll get him. See if Drashico can punish this. I mean, with BZM, they certainly can. They're able to get crit. Can they get Skeeter, though? He's still a bit of a tanky one. They've got the Supernova here from the high ground. Boundless Strike comes into play to keep him in range of the Supernova stun. They'll punish Skeeter as well. Marin, he still wants to fight this. He's in with the jump on towards Derecho, but Derecho's able to get over towards Whitemon to get out of this. Saxa, he's trying to escape the threat of Amar, and he's able to do so. Keeps out of the way of Amar. He'll get out. And Falcons, they try and get something more in return there, but they won't manage to get much, really, as Tundra, they're able to sort of keep their distance and ensure that Falcons, once again, aren't quite getting those favorable trades. Another time where Tundra is coming out with the outplays.
Yeah, it was just the Bristleback got his Ags. They really wanted to make this play, so it's like, they jump, but you see 2 are already dead. Tundra has 4, Falcons has 3. At the start of the fight, Falcons had 2, but Tundra had like 3 or 4 already instantly there. So it's like they're constantly outnumbering them just by like a bit. Just 1 extra hero in every single situation, and it always ends up being enough. Which is just really, really nice to watch, that no matter what their lane state was, they knew that Dota's a game of fighting. You have to be able to bring your heroes to the right places on the map, and they're constantly doing that, like back to back to back. And at this point now, I would say the game's just in Tundra's favor, even without the gold lead.
They'll just drop the black hole for this. They know that Amar's borrowed time's still on cooldown. He just shows himself in the mid farming and maybe just feeling a bit stronger than he was there, as that area of the map has claimed many a life.
The mid lane. Scary place to be. So now it's starting to be a bit worrisome for Falcons that basically all of their gold is on the Bristleback now that the other cores have kind of been dying back to back to back.
Yeah. And how much of a threat or a problem is a farmed Bristleback for Tundra's heroes, or do they have ways to deal with it?
Honestly, not that big of a problem, I would say. They have percentage-based damage from Phoenix, percentage-based damage from Enigma, BKB piercing stun, even Phantom Assassin, shard breaks. So they have like so many random tools to just kind of deal with the Bristleback as well. I don't know what Sox is going to buy eventually, but if he goes Mage Slayer, that's another way to kind of deal with the Quill damage. So honestly, it's not an amazing Bristleback game in terms of just hero matchups. It's just good because of the lane matchup and the fact that he starts just right-clicking hard, right? As a carry, he's strong, but on a 1v5 scale, this isn't really a Bristleback 1v5 kind of game.
Nice little snipe there, and in fact, they might be able to catch up BZM as well. No, he's able to turn to the next assassin, use the spike carapace against them, buy some time to waveform away. The kisses, they will connect. Can they continue to chase it? I'm up to a tier 3. It's risky, but I wouldn't put it off the menu really here for Falcons. This might be a little too far, though. Yeah, Skeeter won't try chase up to the tier 4s. So we'll have to let him live as BZM gets out.
Yep. All these little things are just looking really good as well. Daracho has his Battle Fury, he's finishing his BKB, so he's starting to hit his timings. I think, again, his big timing is probably going to be BKB and maybe even Shard just to kill the Bristleback and Dragonite and Abba. There's like these, all 3 cores are actually kind of get destroyed by break to some extent. Nice. For Abba, you do need to silence them, so they don't have a silence, but even Black Hole. I think Black Hole's a silence, so if they break him and he gets Black Hole, they can just kill the Abba as well. So there's actually a really good PA pick that ended up being, and I think, what, 2 heroes were picked into the PA, actually? It wasn't even...
Yeah, the PA was third pick,
pretty early, yeah. So it's just one of those things you don't really think about. I would say the Shard, you don't think like, oh my god, the PA is going to buy a Shard and she's going to break all of our passes, but it ends up happening. In this game, it might actually be very important for Tundra.
They'll be able to get something out of this. They were moving around as the 5 of them there. Falcons, they catch Saxa off guard.
BZM's going in.
Oh, he's going to try and go for some cute solo player against Snake King. Snake King, though, has the snap. Still pretty tanky, but another round of the spells. I mean, BZM.
Another cookie?
He's going to get jumped by Maureen. 33 here from the low ground, ready to help out. Nice. Same from Whitemon. BZM able to finish off the kill on a Snake King. Again, Maureen and Amar not really able to do much to punish it as Tundra. They're going to walk away. Amar's going to try and chase down 33. The TP backup's coming in. Amar's got to be careful. Black Hole's going to be back up online in 15 seconds. Skeeter will catch Whitemon in the back lines as Whitemon was caught, but Tundra, they're not going to lose any of their cores here. BZM and 33 can continue to safely retreat. As I say, the Black Hole is back up now, so Falcons, they do have to continue to be careful about how they go looking for these moves.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about Tundra, but Falcons has been up in gold. They're about like bouncing between high 1k, 2k gold lead. And it is because of how aggressive they're playing. If you're constantly running at the enemy, you're pushing the waves into them, you're farming their camps, you're going to have a lot of gold in your cores. So even though they kind of do keep dying, which is bad for their game plan, because they're so aggressive, they're constantly ahead. They're never going to be just fully behind in the game until, you know, there's like 30, 40 minutes where they lose a really big team fight. And so the game state's like completely fine for Falcons, and if they ever keep getting these like random picks, maybe like Dota2 here, it's really good for them. But he's a bit too tanky, and it's scary now, right? You know that they're constantly together, they're constantly TPing. You don't want to do these crazy dives, because imagine they got Black Gold right there into the tier 2. Massive loss for them. So good poke, get a tower, just keep kind of growing this gold lead if you can for Falcons. And you want to look to maybe play for a Roshan. If they get Rosh, it's really big versus all the ultimate cooldowns from Tundra. So I would say once they get enough responses to this like constant tower pushing is when they're going to look to, all right guys, let's back off, finish our items, we go Rosh, and kind of play a more formula game rather than the constantly like aggression that Tundra is doing.
Do you imagine Tundra would let them go for the Rosh, or would Tundra be pretty hot on trying
Tundra
to get
really
that
wants
Rosh
to
as well?
fight it. When you have these really big ultimates, you always want to fight Rosh if you can ideally, but it's a question of Tundra does it really fast. Between the Bristleback, the Snap, even the Abba, all just really good heroes of Roshing. So it's just based on the map state as to whether Falcons finds this like key little timing to do it. And I really like this rotation for them. It might actually catch Tundra off.
Oh, BZM has the long TP!
Oh.
That's too long, it's gonna hurt him, it's gonna cost him. Dead. I think what must have been heading over the same way as what the 33 was right.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a long TP and he's gone.
It's a really good timing for this smoke because it happens at 20 minutes. And usually at 20 minutes, when the team is playing here, they think about Tormentor. So in Falcons' mind, they're like, we're going to catch someone maybe doing our Tormentor, maybe standing for our XP rune. And he barely catches this stun on BZM, and kills like that are really big. Now they're up 3k gold. That kill was literally instantly 1,000 gold lead for Falcons, just bonus. They're going to keep getting more because now Tundra has to play a bit scared. They don't have their mid laner. And maybe this might lead into a Rosh in the next 2 or 3 minutes if Falcons gets good, you know, map state, gets the good waves out. But there's no rush, I would say, for Falcons. They still have 10, 15 minutes of completely being in the lead in terms of...
Oh, well, okay. Never mind, they still get it. But will cost 33 his life there.
And an egg.
And a supernova. Yeah. Yeah, that's still that 2-minute cooldown on that one. But, hey, you know.
Delay the game.
It does, though, yeah.
Tundra, you want to delay the game?
They're going to be all right with that.
We have Harpoon finished up for Amar. So again, a lot of items are kind of being finished up right now. And I think they might actually look to Rosh. You see they're controlling this bot half of the map. Maybe they know that the egg was used. I don't think there was really an indicator because it was daytime, so it didn't switch to day. So they might not know specifically, but if they end up taking this gambit to Rosh, that is really good for Falcons. It just ends up being a perfect timing. 33 is also dead, so we're going to see them walk into the pit. And as Tundra, you don't fight this.
No,
you
you
don't
can't.
have egg,
You can't get it.
You give it up, you go farm. And at best, they maybe get this catch on crit, which would be a bit unlucky for Falcons, but I don't think it's really going to matter at the end of the day. It's still going to be a free Roshan for Falcons.
Well, Crit's pretty speedy with that Vendetta. He's well out of that. So indeed, he's fine, and all the space in the world for the rest of Falcons. Get this Roshan on the Aegis, and indeed get that that timing back on track that they want to be going for with this lineup. It's still 22 minutes in. Gold lead, only 1k in advance here for Falcons, so still very much feeling like they're walking on a bit of a fine line here in trying to shut this one down before Tundra really hit their stride, as indeed, as you can see on the net worth,
the moments have passed.
Dratcho
Pops the blur, but no one really is in position for that.
Yeah, needs a bit more than just himself on his own at the moment. Crit, Dratcho very farmed, very close to having the same farm as Skeeter has on the Bristol, so this PA very likely to become more of a problem than the Bristol on the other side.
Yep. The gold matters more for PA than any other hero in the game. PA with 6 items is going to have a really good time, so it's like a ticking time bomb to some extent, but I wouldn't say Falcons is completely out versus PA. They have a bunch of stuns versus PA. They do have decent damage, magic damage, so they have ways to kill her in the game. It's not a complete 1v5 game, but it's definitely going to get to the point eventually where she's the scary one in the game that everyone is playing around, whether you're on her team or against her. And so that's why Falcons, I think, is kind of hitting this tempo, right? It's a 20-minute mark. You have this Aegis, you have all your items, just go, 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 and just at the worst, you force them back. You see TPs, you see their cores in their base, you go back and farm. You don't have to sit there, hit this tier 3 until either I die or the tower dies. You can just play the resource game. You know, get the gold, get the lead. And if you look at the map, the only one that is out on the map is BZM right now.
Yeah, he's getting that extra farm and space, right?
Trying to get caught maybe by Maureen, but even just forcing him back now BZM's in base. And now who really can go out. It's only Saksa, but he's not really getting the gold. So it's always a dance. Dota's a dance between force them back, getting farm, catching the one hero. And so...
And because most of the time, with Falcons lineup at this point, if they are going to seriously go for that high ground push, do they need to have the full 5 there? If they're going to try and break high ground, they can't afford to sort of have someone, crit elsewhere trying to scout out these, BZM trying to get extra farm before he TP's back. We'll see top. Skeeter.
He's completely
back in the mid.
Has the Bloodstone. Whitemon.
That's a lot of heals. The BZM's got to be careful himself. Dratcho's ready to jump over there with the damage, and Skeeter will go down the once. Backup's on its way from Falcons.
Still has a BKB.
See if they can help him out. Skeeter.
Black hole as well.
Running a step away. They use the Supernova.
Dratcho's so low.
One of them. They've got the Boundless in. Dratcho's trying to stand his ground and continue to do the damage. They've got the Black Hole to pull in Skeeter on the Bristol. They'll kill him off. Skeeter to fall. The Falcons, they're looking to fight back strong as they take out both 33 and Saksa.
Maureen has a blink in one.
Just want to go into the base. That might be a little too far. So, not a bad fight back there from Falcons. They lose their carry, but they are able to take down 2 in return. So, still holding on to that little bit of a grip that they do have in this game. I can see a quick smoke coming out from Tundra, though. I mean, they don't have the ultimates, but can they try and go for some sort of surprise play?
They can do some bursts. The Dratcho doesn't have a BKB, so he can get kind of chain stun here, but I think BZM feels really strong.
He wants to go in.
Marine Core. So maybe he turns into Nyx, gets a bunch of stuns out.
I mean, there's the crit as they chase down Snaking immediately. At the same time, though, Whitemon does get jumped by Crit and Maureen. Amar's here ready to turn and help out. Dratcho not quite able to finish off Crit. Crit again escapes with the Vendetta. They'll turn to Amar. The Crit comes in there as they'll take him out, and now they can turn towards Maureen. Buyback comes in from Snaking, wants to be able to head over and try and help out Maureen. There's the jump again. The cleave coming in for Dratcho is enough to triple kill as he takes down Crit. Maureen with the BKB, but he's so low. Dratcho, he's ready to clean up more potentially. Momentarily gets helped out by the stun, but he's got his eyes on Snaking, jumps in, ultra kill for Dratcho, and you know he's not done yet. He's looking over towards Skeeter as BZM toys around with the bristleback. There's the break, there's the rampage. Dratcho on the PA. At this point, it feels like that in just a moment like that, the game is taken over completely by this PA, right? Dratcho is perfectly behind, only just Skeeter and farm the entire game. Turns up to a fight like this, bam! Top on the net worth, rampage for him. Good luck stopping this PA now, I'd say, Gunnar.
One more catch. Has Blink Dagger. He's... Oh. A bit of scary catch.
He might still be in trouble,
He has no
Maureen.
BKB, 50 seconds, no TP either.
Yeah, this chase down, it's going to get them another one. And it's been a close game on the numbers, but that moment, it feels it's going to be hard for Falcons. And there's Dratcho, huge smiles on his face, of course, getting an easy rampage.
Yeah, the game's kind of gotten to that point. It's a bit earlier, but I think Dratcho just made a really good recovery from his lane. His lane wasn't that bad. I think the really big thing for Tundra to get to this point was outnumbering. They didn't do, guys, we're going to go split up, 3 different lanes, go farm creeps, Dratcho, eventually you'll carry us, guys, sacrifice everything. They didn't make any sacrifices. Almost every single fight was, you kill one of us, we kill one of you.
Oh, crap. He's going to be able to fight Saksa here. That's the rest of them turning up. Dratcho, though, he's looking for blood.
He's so strong.
He's ready to get more. Jumps into the 4 of them to be able to just take Snaking down on his own. And they can't do anything about him. This PA's a problem. They're trying to hold him back. But there's just no stopping him. He turns towards Skeeter, walks in front of him.
Maybe?
He's trying to heal up with the Bloodstone. It doesn't even matter. Dratcho's just killing them all. You can't stop this PA now, Gunnar. They had their chances early on. There were a few mess-ups from Falcons. Not able to use that early lead that they had perfectly. Tundra responding brilliantly in that early to mid game. And now Falcons, they're having to pay the price, Gunnar. This PA's out of control.
Yeah, I think honestly a lot of those trades early kind of hurting Falcons by giving... Honestly, Dratcho got a lot. He showed up to every single one of those fights, maybe got 1 kill here, 1 kill there. And every time you get these kills, it matters so much for a slow farming hero like PA. It helps her Battle Fury timing, which, 1 minute faster than that is maybe a minute and a half faster than your BKB. And then she gets to show up for a fight with her BKB, and now her Sanji Dash is a little faster. So it's constantly you're making these little timing plays, and now the game just completely in Tundra's hand. And the question is for Falcons, what do you really do in this position to deal with the PA?
What do you do?
And it's really hard. You have the stuns, but now at this point, even if you stun her, she has Sanji Dash. She's not even squishy anymore. You can't really chain stun her, so it probably has to do with finding her completely alone, maybe like this.
Oh, well, there you go. All right. Well, there we have it.
She got found completely alone.
There we go. That's the other. Easy kill for them. They're just able to end the streak. Maureen's able to get a lot of money.
So
that's one something.
Yeah, that's something.
They've probably got to do it a few more times.
Yeah.
But they show us it can be done.
So it's honestly a lot on if Falcons is able to peel Tundra apart. Maybe they get another kill here just by hunting them down. If they get a 33 kill or even a BZM kill like this when he waveforms in, might be enough with the Glimmer Cape.
Yeah, he's hard to kill.
What a funny item.
Yeah, there's not a chance for these two to kill this morph.
Octarine Core.
He's got backup
Glimmer
coming
Cape.
as well, BZM. Skeeter can try and chase this. Yeah, Skeeter's got to be a bit cautious. And they're bringing Amar in as well, but Stacks are out into the trees before the Harpoon can grab him. Tundra now get away from that sweep of the map from Falcons. Falcons, they can try and push in, but 20 seconds and Dyrachyo will be back in the game.
The Glimmer Cape meta is so funny to me. Because there's always been this talk of, wow, Shadowblade's such a good item on Core's late game because people can't really carry dust, you can't really carry detection.
Yeah.
And now it's just evolved into, let's just buy an item half the cost of a Shadowblade, and can be used during fighting, while I'm fighting, to just go in and out of invis, and makes me tankier. Like, if you think about it that way, it's just such a good item to buy with a short cooldown.
I mean, because that's the thing as well. Has kind of the concept in Dota changed with Invis, where I feel like in the past it was like, if someone on your team had Invis or a Shadowblade, it's like, well, don't buy any more Invis, because they're already going to be buying detection. But now, kind of how big the map is and the sort of the reduction of resources when it comes to like being able to counter it in terms of like sentry allocation, is it now better to have more Invis on the team, because then the enemy's got to be more decisive about who they actually want to kind of focus on trying to use the detection for?
Yeah, to some extent, honestly, it used to be bad because the map was smaller. You place a sentry, it was just 10% of the map. It's just gone for invis. And also, honestly, the big thing is, a while ago, supports didn't get items. So you'd always have, you'd have Brown Boots and a stick. You have 4 inventory slots for dust.
Yeah, exactly.
You have dust, you got sentries, a gem, whatever. But now, every single support's getting their own glimmers, their own force staffs, their own even damage items, like the Monkey Kings are scaling. And so now, even the supports are kind of struggling to carry dust later and later in the game. And you want your cores to do it, but the cores are also getting more and more items because there's just so much farm. So everyone's just kind of building up so many items that it gets awkward to have to carry dust just to counter enemy cores. And it's also a battle of, well, if you have it, I'll have it too. Now both sides want to buy the glimmers, kind of annoy each other. And it's just this back and forth battle that I think is really interesting, and especially because it's so fresh. This has only been, what, a week and a half now, they were saying? So we'll see. Maybe it's just a fad. This has happened before where players will get a fad and they think it's like the coolest thing ever for 2 weeks, and then
have you got any of those to mind? Any sort of fads that there was like a week or so where people are like, this is it, and then it very quickly wasn't it?
I can't think off the top of my head, but there's definitely been some heroes where I remember at the start of the patch, I was talking to Fogged about Bloodseeker, and he was annoyed people were picking it in pro games because he thought it was like a pub game fad. But I think now it's getting a little more like stabilized, that the hero is like pretty solid. But even this one, I don't know if in the Europubs people know, there's this guy who plays Bristleback, and he goes Lincoln's Glimmer Cape every game for the last 2 months.
Oh, this is Dota Sama,
yeah,
that's the guy I heard. I think one of the players called him out in a post-game interview in one of the previous tournaments when they were asked about the Glimmer Cape. They referenced him.
His whole meme was, you have to buy Lincoln's Glimmer Cape on Bristle every game. And so honestly, maybe he wasn't wrong with the Glimmer. Maybe the Lincoln's a little much, but the Glimmer Cape has looked really good. So
here we go. Dyrachyo in with the BKB. They're ready to clean up a fight once more at Tundras. They're just going to be able to slowly run down Falcons. Both supports are gone. Snaking and Crit dead. See what they go for next as Saxter sets up in the start with the Wukong's command. They've got the Dragon Tail here as BZM turns into Dragon Tail, hold back Skeeter. Dyrachyo, he continues to chase down Amar. Amar's dead. It's a triple kill. You know it, he's looking for another one of those old rampages. We'll see if he gets the chance here. BZM's controlling Skeeter. There's the ultra kill. Look for the Bristol. Can he do it? Yes, he can. The second rampage this game for Mr. Dyrachyo.
Unless you're prepared to keep your end.
At this point, Skeeter's not doing enough. He kind of runs in, he presses all his buttons. They completely ignore him. He walks out of the fight for the first like 15 seconds, and I think in total he probably did 500, 600 damage. And that's not enough. And then compare that to Dyrachyo. He just goes in, he one-shots hero, goes to the next, one-shots the next hero, goes to the next, one-shots. And it's getting to this point where you would ask this question again, what do we do, guys?
What do you do?
What's the plan?
What do you do? I mean, on Dyrachyo, he's having one of the best PA performances I feel I've seen in a while. Just in how he's kind of been involved in all aspects. I mean, you mentioned it earlier how he was being, joining these early fights. You can see it right now.
Look at this chain stun. Oh my god. You think he's having fun right now?
At least he's got an Abaddon.
Yeah.
Am I able to bail him out a little bit?
Might have a little too much?
No, Kiss is coming in.
Fine.
BZM should be able to get out right with the waveform. Yeah, he's away. Yeah, he's thinking about going back in BZM. He's like, well, you know what? We could go for another round if you want.
And at least force out the ult.
Yeah.
Snaking's getting a little too up. He wants to help Black Hole.
Black Hole's up. 33's tempted. There it is. walks up, grabs the two of them with the black hole. That's Snake King gone. Amar, he's getting further back up. Can they finish Amar? If they can, Amar's gone. Skeeter should be able to punish 33, but he can't do anything about BZM.
Where's Dyrachyo?
Oh, he's going to try for a TP out in front of all of them, and you know what? He's going to get away. They don't have anything to stop it. Saxa gets out.
Just walk casually through the base.
And Dyrachyo, I mean, he's untouchable. He's got the Satanic finish now. Until the SMY BKB. I mean, why are they even trying to kill this PA? It's just not going to happen. You can't kill
him. Look at that. He's a bit scared now. He actually has no BKB. If they get him once, they might be able to take him out a second time, but that's such a big ask. He turns around, one Satanic, one crit,
exactly.
full HP.
He can heal back up. They've got the Supernova as well here, keeping him protected, ready to do the damage around him. It's Falcons once again. They're just having to run away from this PA. Skeeter's dead.
The Aegis.
Crit, he's going to die as well. I mean, at some point, they're just going to want to have the pain and suffering come to an end here. This PA is bullying them. They cannot do anything about him. I think you might want to go to game 2 soon, Gunnar.
Yeah, I think Dyrachyo, Phantom Assassin, I feel like it's a hero that fits him so well. I would say he's always a player that's been really aggressive, and I think Phantom Assassin really excels in these games where she shows up really early, gets to fight.
16-2 and 11, right? Quick maths. Been involved in 27 of the 34 kills. It's crazy
get to fight,
stats.
you get to show up, you get to farm too, so it's not like he's completely has to just be an early game aggressor. And I feel like every time I watch this, there's the dagger of the Tormentor that one time, but besides that one time, every time it almost looks like his best hero, I would say. So I think it's just really impressive by him. But even all of Tundra, I think the strategy to constantly show up to these fights back to back in the early game was really good, especially based on the laning stage. Whenever you lose your lanes, your mental is kind of, oh guys, they're ahead, it's hard to fight. You want to find ways to dodge, usually is the way you talk about, and how do we pull them apart and pick them apart. But Tundra just constantly was like, all right guys, we're going to bring 5.
Yep.
And I feel like there's never a time where Falcons also was like, okay guys, we need to bring 5, because they always felt we're stronger than them. We don't need to bring 5, we can be a bit greedy. And whether it was a deliberate choice to not bring 5 or it's just Tundra making really good rotations, it just worked out really well for them in the early game. They just delay it, and now 21,000 gold lead for Tundra, 35 minutes. They still have the Aegis for I think like 2.5 minutes, and there's just not really a big choice for Tundra.
See how much they can play around with him. Saxa jumping in. He's got Snake King and Marin and crit by his side of Mar. Still very tough. I mean, here comes Dyrachyo. It's terrifying for Falcons. Snake King's gone. Dyrachyo's ready to look for his next target. He's already had 2 rampages this game. You know what? He's like, you know what? I could try and go for another one. They do have the stuns upon him.
Still Satanic and BKB.
He's ready to heal up. He's going to be able to find the double kill. He's dreaming at that 3rd rampage. Can he do it? He's looking for Skeeter, but Skeeter's healing up with the Bloodstone. And Dyrachyo's a little bit low on the mana. He's still got that Aegis for a minute and a half, and it's over. They just caught it. They didn't want to see him get a 3rd rampage, so they'll tap out of this one. But there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Tundra with this game there in that game 1. The question is he going to be able to find another rampage this game? Or do you think Falcons are going to shut him down a little harder?
Maybe an ultra kill.
Maybe an ultra.
Yeah.
You see it, yeah?
Rampages might be a little too much.
Yeah, maybe a first blood.
First blood.
Here we go
Very
under the
doable.
tower. Who are they going to give it to? They're going to give it a 33. Gets the last touch on that one. So first blood for Tundra to start this one off.
Yep. And I actually really respect the priority on Phantom Assassin, that they moved it up from this like 2nd phase. You just pick it, you're pretty confident. You pick it, they still have 3 responses, but now they just first pick it. They don't care anything. Dyrachyo's like, guys, I'm going to cook. Let me cook. Give me space. And I think it goes to show that this team, I think they like kind of trust each other, and they like playing around Dyrachyo and his playstyle, and it's really working. They've had a lot of really good success in the last month or so. And I think, again, PA is just a really good hero for Dyrachyo. It just makes a lot of sense. And a lot of the time, the very successful teams pick their carries really early on. There's that whole meta a few years ago of like Terrorblade first pick every game. And whenever you can pick your carry, his hero early game, he performs every game. He has a stable enough lane. He gets this farm. It just makes the lane setup so much easier, because the heroes that really matter for the early game, like the supports, like this Warlock, this Tusk, you get to late pick them. And they actually get to have really, really good games, which matters so much more for kind of controlling the tempo. And crit, oh no. Not again.
Trapped in by the shards. This is going to be another little bit of a kill for Tundra to start this game off. 2-0 for them.
That's just kind of mean. That just 2 times in a row. The lane hasn't started yet. The creeps have not met, and he's died twice. But that's really good for Tundra. Just 2 kills back to back. Crit's gonna have to. He has a TP. He just walked both times, so it was dead. So now he has actually 3 TPs in his inventory. So pretty good value.
You know,
a lot of gold he made.
He's got that bit of a stockpile to play with. And what do you make of these lanes? Because obviously with this PA coming out first, you would imagine Falcons, they've set this up in a way to make sure Derecho doesn't get the chance to get a good Battle Fury timing. Are you seeing that in the way they've responded with the draft and the way they've decided to lane against it, or is Derecho kind of happy still?
Honestly, Timbersaw recently has kind of felt a bit of a weak laner, I would say. Like, you can already see he's such low health. And
yeah, you can bully him, right?
Yeah, when he hits his like level 3, 4 timing, maybe he either goes full on nukes and just trades at you, or he goes armor. But honestly, recently, I feel like his laning has been a bit weak. I think Amar hasn't even been picking him that much. It's like, it's a good hero for sure, and Amar's really good at it, but it's not what it used to be. There used to be this time where Timbersaw walks into the lane, if you're a melee carry, you leave. It's completely over. But now, at this point, Derecho, actually, I think the lane will be even, and with these 2 kills, I don't think he got either kill, but just the fact that he has a little more XP, a little extra gold, maybe an extra set of tangos because of that, it's just really nice for him. The big gold is for their offlane on Tundra. 33 got first blood, and Saksa got the 2nd kill. So if anything, these first bloods matter a lot for top lane. But yeah, I think Derecho is just completely chilling.
All 33.
Has a shield in 2 and a wand.
1 charges, yeah. Should be fine to head away from this. But we'll be left, yeah, very low without the regen there. So we'll get bullied back. Gives a good bit of space for Skeeter to find that free farm in this top lane situation. So overall, with the Troll as the finishing pick, what does that sort of say from Falcons in the way they want to play this game? They want to just sort of match the super carry potential of the PA and take this game to whichever minute it ends up being drawn out to, or are you still trying to play faster as the Troll into the PA?
It's kind of a bit of both. I would say there's a lot of good things about it. I think Troll is one of the better carries versus Tusk because you blind him whenever he does the tag team, so you don't really lose these trades in the early game. And it is, in theory, one of the good carries versus PA, because eventually you get MKB, she blinks and you ult, and you just instantly kill her, you root her, she can't do anything about it. It's also what the panel is saying, it's a high armor hero, so you won't get one shot the same way Bristleback was getting one shot eventually in the game. And there's potential for it. It's, I would say, to what the panel is saying, it's not a standard Falcons hero. It's not, you think of Skeeter, you don't think of Troll.
And this is the thing, right? We've seen a lot of PA throughout the recent tournaments. It's not like Troll has been a hero that all teams are going, oh, they got a PA, let's pick a Troll against it. It's not a instant kind of snap gotcha pick that other teams are really doing. I
would say Phantom Assassin is honestly really weird thinking about it as a carry because it feels so awkward to draft heroes into it. It's just really annoying, I would say, because it does so much damage that you have to pick such specific heroes to kind of counter it. I think in the past, Troll was good, but it also matters power level of hero, right? Phantom Assassin as a power level is just pretty solid hero. You just pick it no matter what. They're first phasing it. But Troll, you have to last pick it and hope it works out. Maybe if there's a snowball on his ult and he literally can't hit anything, he just starts hitting creeps, then what? There's a lot of question marks with this hero that makes it a bit scary, but...
Because at the moment, we'll see top. Maybe Skeeter can find a kill out of this, but indeed the Aphotic shield out as well. They could just turn towards Skeeter, and Skeeter's dead. Shots are out. They're going to be able to try and succeed at taking down Snake King as well. So these two up here, you mentioned the good start they had with those early kills before the creeps met, and now in the lane, getting kills as well here, Gunnar.
Yeah, I would say the simplest way to look at the Troll pick was it's similar to the Bristleback. That they try to pick Skeeter's hero to completely destroy the safe lane and, like, you know, outlane 33 effectively. And last game they did it with the Bristleback. And I think that in this game, if they walked into a very even lane, they would have as well. But now they're walking into a lane, they're down, what, 400, 500 gold just off the start of the laning stage. And because of that, now they get 2 more kills, now they're even further behind. And it's this whole snowball where one of the main reasons you pick Troll is to win this safe lane. And now if you're losing the safe lane, is this Troll ever going to get online? And on the other side, the first big PA is free farming. Top last hits in the game, just completely chilling. Amar's doing good. It's not like he's getting crushed on the other side, but that's not how you want the lane to go, right? You want the Phantom Assassin to be the one that's slightly behind, having to get kicked out. And right now, everything's going really good for Tundra. It's just very, very good early game.
I mean, bottom
lane. With another kill?
Yep, diving in. They're going to get this. Another kill here to continue 5-0 now for Tundra on this laning stage. I mean, and after what happened in Game 1, if you're Falcons, there's got to be a little bit of a panic and anxiety brewing, right? When you're seeing, oh, that PA that double rampaged us last game, 5 minutes in, they're having an easy lane. Like
when last game they had a bad lane.
Indeed, and he was able to do what he did. And now this time, he's getting an even better start. You know, if you do some simple maths, you know, bad start equals 2 Rampage, good start, that might equal 3.
Maybe 4?
Yeah, exactly. Who
We gotta
knows?
wait and see. It's really scary. Honestly, I feel like carries are really scared of drafters. You play for some carry, destroys the game, and you have half your team going, guys, maybe we should ban it. He just like destroyed us in the game. And the other half going, we just gave him a free game. You know, we'll deal with him this game. I also don't, honestly, I don't think Falcons is expecting them to just overall first pick it.
No, that's quite a bold pick, right?
So I think that kind of played into it. And it's also really awkward because now, if that is the concern, are you really going to be like, guys, let's first phase ban the Phantom Assassin.
Against Tundra, yeah.
Against Tundra. That's so much drafting power that to some extent, for not even for Falcons, but for every other team that has to play Tundra, you want Falcons to win this game. Because otherwise you have to find your own solution to dealing with the first PPA when you play versus Tundra. So there's so much every other team's watching this game and being like, oh god, guys.
Look at this as well. Oh, unfortunately there with the jump from BZM. Wasn't able to get inside the shards, but Saxa did manage to temporarily trap Maureen with.
To level 5.
And Maureen should be fine here. They can't dive in quite yet. And so far with the CS in this mid lane, how's it been going? 39 and 20 against the 17 and 3. BZM doing what he does sometimes on these mid laners, right? We see it from like his Shaker mid against certain heroes and hits down his Monkey King. Certain matchups, he can just completely dominate the CS.
Yeah, it's playing really well. It's also kind of a Maureen, I would say, is one of the other players that does that.
Lotus and the Wand.
Is it heal? Shield?
It's enough time for Shield to come up, and indeed with the Shadow Word coming in as well. 33, surviving again against the attempts of Skeeter and Snaking up top. There's a further TP coming in as well. Skeeter and Snaking have got to be a bit careful because BZM's
here.
He's turned up with the rotation. We'll look to chase down Skeeter. Boundless strike in. Should be able to jump forward. Skeeter trying to juke. And but another jump there. Skeeter's dodging it.
This is
he's
good.
going back and forth. BZM, he's still going to find him though. You can't run from this Monkey King.
Really good news is that Snaking did end up losing his Enchantress win streak.
He did.
So
he did. He had a crazy one. What did he get up to? About what,
24?
Like 20, it was in the 20s.
It was in the 20s,
right? Low
yeah.
20s,
so
yeah.
At least this one, if it goes the way it's looking, it won't be that big of a heartbreak. But yeah, it's looking rough for Falcons right now. Which is complete opposite of the last game. Which is also, like you were saying, it's the scary thing. In the last game, it was like Falcons has an early game lead, they're up in gold, they're constantly diving the enemy. Now it's just the opposite. And when you lose those games, you always feel like, we were ahead, now we're losing. Maybe they're like kind of outplaying us on the macro scale, or they're doing something better than us. Because when you're ahead, you should be winning the games. You should be in a good advantage. But now when you're behind versus those teams that are kind of outplaying to some extent, there's so much, I would say, pressure on Falcons to figure something out. You see here, Maureen TPs to his safe lane because he's scared about the dive. And now his game's just going to be super slow. It's already really bad because of the mid matchup, but now he's kind of just grasping at like straws, trying to figure out where to rotate. TP's top, nothing. He gates bot, and maybe he gets Toxa? But they missed everything.
They missed everything.
So he's going to ult.
And Saxa was just walking back and forth.
Snowball.
He's going to be able to dodge the Rolling Thunder. And we'll see if Maureen can still find something with this Rolling Thunder. Now, easy jukes again from Saxa. They're just missing everything. I think Falcons, maybe they skipped their breakfast this morning or something. I'll see
They're
if
going to keep trying to fight. They do get wiped
But
off.
Maureen jumped back in to get that kill. He's going to die for it. He went back in to kill off a support, and it cost him his life. Some early game blunders again here from Falcons as we were seeing in game 1. Gunnar.
Yeah, I think they're definitely feeling a bit of this pressure, probably especially from Maureen. When you're mid, a lot of your gameplay is about controlling the tempo of the game. You always hate losing the lane. Every mid player despises losing the mid lane. No matter what, you could be picked in a matchup 90-10, and even if you're supposed to get completely destroyed in the lane, you hate it.
Sure.
Because you always feel like, I could have played better than this guy. I should have impact.
Are you voicing that typically during the game? Like, if you lose mid, are you like, guys, I lost mid?
No, you pretend everything's fine. You know, you're locked in, nothing's happening, but it's in the back of your head. And so you want to make moves. You either want to be like, hey guys, let's fight their runes, because if we outnumber them, we're good, or we can gate. But now that these moves the second they don't work out, it's so bad for the rest of your team, especially when resources are kind of being used.
Oh, Skeeter.
This might be a good turnaround.
Nice go.
BZM, no ult.
We'll be able to get Saxa, but backup's coming in for BZM. So Skeeter and Maureen have to be a bit careful. Whitemon on 33 turning up, because Whitemon has got the rock ready to drop. So Falcons have to be very cautious about how they approach these two. And I guess it just doesn't help for Maureen at all when he sees sort of BZM doing this right.
Yep.
Smashed him in the mid, and now 3 kills up, starting to take over the game here quite early on as the Monkey King mid.
It just feels bad because when you're behind on mid, it requires your whole team to kind of help you.
Well, here we go.
This could be a really big kill if they get BZM.
They should. Skeeter's coming in as well. BZM, surely
Unless
there's no way he
Fox
can be saved. He cannot. They needed that. They get it. They're finally able to take BZM down.
Really big kill. Like, just for the momentum of the game, you're forcing your whole team to help you. They bring 3 heroes just to contest this one power room, but you actually get the enemy mid laner for it, right? They actually get this good trade. Maybe now there's a world. I don't think they'll actually get him, but if they actually end up getting 33, this is really big for them too. He has ult, so should just walk away casually.
We don't have a slow, but shield is there in 1 second.
He's fine.
Yeah, and 33 knows it as well, even standing in position there. He's like, you want to dive me? Well, you can do it. You saw how I ended up going for your last game. And you know, BZM, he's here. 33 has to be careful. He's very, very low. I mean, shield onto BZM. BZM chasing down Skeeter a bit. Skeeter's got the ult up in 5 seconds, so this time it's BZM that has to be kind of careful about how much he's diving. Skeeter.
Whiteman with the goal.
Oh, and he died just as the ult was about to come up. Skeeter taken out. Moments, a millisecond before he would have had the ultimate ready to pop, and now it's just falling apart for Falcons. They lost snaking. There's a double kill for Duracio. And this is the thing, Duracio's turning up to the fights, as he did in Game 1. Here in Game 2, he knows when it's early to turn up. As at the timing, there couldn't be more unfortunate. Skeeter, he had that ult. Oh, I guess he didn't have mana. Never mind, I think he didn't have mana. Maybe.
It was close.
It was close.
It was close.
The cooldown was there, but either way, a rough fight. For Falcons and Tundra, it's just more of that outplay we were seeing from them in Game 1.
Look at this also wraparound, right? You see Duracio and Whitemon both get behind. They get this really nice golem. Amar TP's in to try to help. Probably, I think, Malrine has no choice. He has no mana. He has probably no TP, no ult. Like, he can't even join this fight. And again, it's another exact case of the first game. 5 heroes from Tundra, 4 from Falcons. Every single time we've seen this, both games back to back, you don't win the fight with 4 players. You always need to bring the same amount of players if you want to win these fights, unless you're super far ahead. And I don't think either team in this whole series has been far enough ahead that they had the luxury of,
no,
you can go farm, we got this 4v5, like, let us handle it. Every time we're up only 1k gold. Even now they're only up 1k gold, which it doesn't feel that much, right? Like, Stomps usually are like, oh my god, they're up 2k gold at 10 minutes, they're up so much gold, but I think it's just the fact that Tundra moves their heroes around the map a lot better in these 2 games. I think that's kind of their advantage, right? They don't really need a net worth advantage to move their heroes better.
And it's that, you know, you look at Duracio, 12 minutes in, he's got a Battle Fury. You look at Skeeter, he's not even halfway on the Battle Fury, on the Troll. And bottom lane, Crypt will be able to get out of this with the
What a good facet.
And I mean, the 2 of them can't really do much. Amar is, he's pretty farmed on the Timbersaw, right? Level 11, he's having a good time. Overall, like, how disruptive as a Timber game can this be? I mean, we talked last game about the potential, like, Skeeter on his Bristleback getting out of control, but they had answers for it. This game, Amar, as farmed as he is, how much of a concern is that for Tundra? Do Tundra, again, have answers for this hero?
I'd say it's a pretty good Timbersaw game.
It can be good, yeah.
He's good versus the cores. Yeah. He has a lot of armor. Like, there's a lot of physical damage on Tundra, so the armor matters a lot. But I think more importantly, Falcons has a lot of control to help him out. You have a Pango rolling around causing chaos. You have a Nyx maybe stunning someone, Eng kind of baiting a fight. So it's not on him to, hey, you have to tank the fights, do all the damage, and survive. He kind of can play for himself to carry. So I think a lot of this game is going to be on Amar and Skeeter, the 2 of them.
Absolutely.
And if more of anything, I think Amar more so has to carry than Skeeter.
Yeah.
Because what can Skeeter really do in these type of games? I think he'll just get kited eventually. And so I'm just worried, honestly, about the Troll's impact based on how his laning went. I think his whole laning stage was supposed to be this really big, high impact, stomp the lane, get it early back. He was supposed to be Duracio. Like, his game should be Duracio's. And now at this point, Tundra's running around getting kills, and so maybe they went too far.
That's what Falcons can do here. And Whitemon's going to drop the Golem down. Stacks should fall. Amar's able to finish him off. 33 considering standing his ground here. Whitemon with the Golem out starts punching into them from the side as well. Potential sweep in from BZM. He's looking to see if he can get an angle in on this. Behind the tier 1 might be a little too far. So they'll just have to settle with forcing them back as they do just lose their Tusk.
Still 1-for-1. They did get crit at the start. I think they also stole the stack on the side of Tundra. So all in all, honestly, not bad for Tundra. Like, you lose the Tusk, you kind of feel a bit bad, but anytime that you make an aggressive play, you force TPs out, you force rotations, an even trade is fine. Because the amount of gold that they lose from going to their side of the map is really small.
They really want to fight this Falcons.
Oh, he has the shield.
Indeed, he's able to jump up the trees, but Amar's able to cut it. Amar fantastically hitting the angle perfectly to cut down the tree,
Really good.
take out BZM. Those are the sort of plays that we need to see Amar coming out with here to try and get this game back under Falcons' control. Now they'll chase forward for 33. Amar closes in with the Timber Chain.
Refusal slow.
The root from Skeeter still has Saxify's side 33, but Falcons, surely with the numbers, they can do something about this. The borrowed time's there for 33. Sax's got the snowball. He's considering if he can turn up and help out, they might just have to leave Sax.
Oh, the creep's body blocking Skeeter. The creep's body blocking him.
Oh, it's kind of griefing him. He's able to phase through it finally. But definitely bumped him back a few times, stopped him from being able to get in on top of 33. So Saxa will die, but does mean that 33 gets the space to leave. Duracho, he's thinking about going back in towards Maureen. Maureen, be able to slow him with the defusal. Another dagger forward. Crypt watching from the high ground, ready to offer up a stun hold, and baptism easily removed by the aphotic shield. Maureen jumps down to the side, but he's kind of caught between a tree. Maureen's just stuck. He just gets right-clicked down by Whitemon. Well, that's gonna hurt. Just standing there in the corner as this Warlock just slaps you to death. That's rough.
Yeah, I mean, Tundra, I feel like it's the same story. It almost feels like very similar to the first game, where just every single time, I feel like I just count Tundra's heroes way more in showing these fights, and Duracho again showing up to the fights really early on.
He's crushing it.
And I think Falcons is trying to kind of counter too with Skeeter showing up to these fights, right? Like, as the troll, he keeps showing up, but I think Phantom Assassin feels just better at these early game fights. They talked about how now her innate ability is the evasion. It's no longer her E, so you can just go this 4-4-0 build. It's the same reason why Bloodseeker is popular, right? His movement speed is part of his innate, and so you can go 4-4-0, same with PA. These carries who get these built-in innate abilities, I think just are so strong at fighting now, because you have less choices. You can just pick purely, I'm gonna skill these spells up for fighting. That's all I care about. Even like Abba, right? He skips his Q completely. Really strong shield, really strong passive. So honestly, I feel like there's so many heroes these days that just go like 0-4-4 or 4-4-0.
They're just giving out on us.
And they just skip a spell, and they just are so strong with those two spells that they can take any fight that they want.
Oh, here we go. They find BZM. Another little bit of a grab.
Maybe a Soxa? I think they saw him for a second, but...
He might have juked them successfully here. I think he's fine.
Hey, he looks good.
He's going to be able to hide from this. Yeah, the problem overall... you look at the middle, you could be like, convinced, oh, it's a close game. There's 1k gold difference. And then you look at the carries, and there's a PA. Duracho, he's nearly got 11k net worth.
Almost getting doubled.
It's getting rough. Skeeter, he is far behind on the troll. It's going to be a heavy game for Amar. I don't know if he can do it on the Timber. Timber, not quite the beast it was in the past, but a lot of pressure on Amar. He's got to carry pretty hard this game, Gunnar.
Yeah, I think a lot of the gold lead, if you... See, it's pretty funny is that actually I think it's a support net worth lead. In that Tundra supports are actually pretty poor, but if you compare it to the Falcon supports, they're actually like relatively rich for the game state. And it's just because Falcon supports farms better, right? Enchantress farms better, Nyx farms better, but if you look at what the support's impact in this game will actually be, Tundras don't really need gold. Like, Duracho just one-shots the Falcon supports whenever he feels like it, versus the Tundra ones. Warlock just has to press ult randomly and just slow. And Tusk, if he gets a single snowball save in the fight, that's also enough from dev impact. So I just feel like this net worth lead just, I would say it's even closer to like 4 or 5k at this point. And it just looks this way because of these supports. So it's very misleading from a outside perspective to kind of feel, and from an inside, like if you go into what the players are thinking right now, they can feel that it's this 5k, 6k lead.
You've got Falcons at the moment. They know how much pressure they're under.
They know they're behind.
Feel that.
Generally, the easiest way to do it is you click the enemy carry, and you look at his items.
And then you click yours.
And you're like,
Oh no.
This is not looking good, guys. So, not that good, but it's also one of those things that, Amar's game is good. His game is fine. It's just a question of, is it going to be enough? And I think these days, Timbersaw doesn't really have the damage to chew through like a Phantom Assassin. So his best bet is going to be constantly going for these random support picks, maybe a Monkey King if he's split, but the biggest concern is how do they take down Duracho? He's got his Glimmer Cape finish.
Yeah, his Glimmer Cape, S and Y.
The big timing.
This is 19 minutes in, having these three main items on the PA. It's the dream here for Duracho. And yeah, with those items, it really is just that question. Even if they catch him alone and they kind of get the stuns that they do have, maybe into Rolling Thunder bounce, are they actually going to be able to kill him? Even over on the trees, they find BZM, but he's actually able to jump off in time before the trees cut. And he'll be able... Ooh.
First hit root.
Oh, okay.
No way.
Okay. Wait, how did he know exactly where it was as well? I guess just you're going to have that... That's the area you would jump to?
They might have
He went straight for him, right?
seen the animation of the Q, because he jumped along his Q with the shard on the
That's
Monkey
true.
King.
Yeah, you probably see the beginning, so you see the end. Yeah, Skeeter was on it, and yeah, a little bit of luck there, which he
RNG.
needed. He needed.
Yeah.
Gets that first hit route.
Yeah, I think he might have seen the animation of like the little jump, so
Definitely saw the boundless shard, yeah.
a bit unlucky for BZM. You can tell he's just a little bit frustrated, but
What can you do?
Falcons needs that kind of thing.
Exactly. But then, BZM looks at his PA and then he's feeling happy.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's like, all right, you guys are farming easy. Yeah, Directors, he's like, yeah, level 17, I'm working on my Satanic, it's only 20 minutes in, you know.
They might catch Amar, and again, Amar is like the big main factor, right? So anytime you get this kill, it's just massive. And Orchid, I think, is out on 33, has an Orchid, so he's just going to go down. Doesn't even get his Ags off. And so that was your hero.
Yep.
All of Falcons, the other four are looking at him like, Amar, you have to carry us. You have to do this. And him getting picked off, that just, more gold for the Phantom Assassin, less of a net worth lead for him. And now, especially if they get this Roshan, it's kind of looking like a reverse of the first game a bit.
And do you like this what I'm talking about? Yeah, 33's build. So none of this like Echo, S and Y prioritization first, getting the Blade Mail first this game, then into that Orchid.
I think the Blade Mail is really interesting versus Troll, because there's this really cool thing where you force him to hit you, you pop your ult in Blade Mail, and it just completely removes the lifesteal he gets from his ult. So he's just sitting there, forced to hit you in Blade Mail. You take no damage, and he's just 1 health, and then he dies at the end of his ult. So I actually think it's really interesting in this one-to-one perspective. I think it's a thing offlaners have been cooking for the last year or two, where for specific carries, you want to buy Blade Mail to force them out. Remember when Wind Ranger was a really popular hero?
Yes, yeah.
A lot of the offlaners started going Blade Mail before Boots. And it was because eventually in the lane, she literally couldn't exist, because if she ulted you or even right-clicked you, she would die to the Blade Mail. So I think it's kind of a similar vein where Troll has to ult, he has to hit you, and it's kind of a way to counter it, that he doesn't get any lifesteal. And he also doesn't really need to do much in terms of tanking. The Phantom Assassin has such a good game.
Talking about the Phantom Assassin, Drasho's got an amplified damage rune, so he is going to be able to make quick work of Crypt.
Now I think they can just keep pushing. I don't really see... Falcons doesn't have the best kind of ghost push. I think that's a common thing with the Falcons drafts, is that they don't really draft ghost push. A lot of their heroes they play very honest Dota to some extent, where you know where they are, and they're just stronger than you, wherever they are. They bring the right heroes, and that leads to these things where when they get slightly behind, it's way harder for them to come back outside of forcing you into these bad positions. So they don't pick like Zoo that much compared to 33, for example. Like 33, you play versus this guy, he's playing Beastmaster, you don't know where he is, he's cutting all your ways, you feel really bad, but Falcons, you play versus Amar, he's in front of your tier 2 with Timbersaw and saying, kill me, guys. But when he actually gets killed, when he asks that question, where do you kind of go with your game plan?
Yeah, I like that. This sort of the change up in the way Abandon's played it, continues really 33, getting this Blink Dagger now. So what's this down to? He considers his job to just get in and find that Orchid target.
Probably,
Who's he going for in the middle of the... Is he jumping or silencing the Trolls, silencing the...
Honestly, any hero besides the Enchantress
just feels good.
So good. None of them really want to buy Dispel anyway. There's nothing to really dispel. Like, no one really wants to buy a Manta on Falcons. No one really wants to buy a BKB that well, because they're also everything kind of pierces BKB. So it's like Falcons doesn't really want to buy these defensive items, so going Orchid means you find the Nyx is dead. You find the Timber's dead. Troll might not get ult off. And so it's just a really... I think it's really smart, honestly, by 33 to go to these items. Like, Orchid and on the mark, he's just probably dead. I don't know, he's not looking at him, but...
Same time, Maureen's going to try and help fight back. BZM's got the Wukong's command turns. There's the crits. The jump force from Duracho comes on towards Snaking. Falcons, they've got to start running. Duracho, he's ready to start chasing. He's in. They get the golem drop down. Skeeter, he'll get the ultimate off, but they're just going to be able to kite him out. And unfortunately for Skeeter, it's one of those moments where an underfarmed Troll just looks completely useless. We've seen this many times in the past, right, Gunnar, where you're behind as a Troll, you turn up, you press ult, and you have that moment where you just question why you ever wanted to play this hero.
Yeah, you kind of just sit there, you hit him 5 times, and you're like, I've dealt about 100 damage. My ult's half over. I have 1 health, because I can't be killed, at least. You can be alive, right? It feels good. You have those 5 seconds of invulnerability, but your base does not have those 5 seconds of invulnerability. So it's looking a bit rough for Falcons. I think, honestly, it's a lot on... I want to say the lanes and these kills in the early game. Like, the first 2 kills, first ones matter so much in Dota these days. A lot of the players are very similarly skilled in terms of laning.
Deracho.
But
Oh, there you go.
nice crit.
Dire's bottom
You give a first blood to a team, especially 2 kills, right? Back to back, you give 2 kills to this offlane duo. And
You sound like you're trying to make up excuses here for the safe lane. Well, this is Skeeter's excuse in terms of the safe lane outcome. He's like, crit, you fed them
It's crit.
twice. He's just blaming crit.
now
Oh,
he's
dead again. Well, this one's going to hurt for Falcons, right? Tundra turn up in game 2. They say, we're just going to first pick PA. What are you going to do about it? Oh, he's 8-0-9. Looks like they weren't able to do anything about it. It's a first pick PA. They couldn't counter it. They couldn't kill him, Gunner, at all.
It also it feels more bad because it's not. They picked a Mar Timbersaw. This hero in the past, I feel like you pick it versus PA and you're like, guys, gotta crush him in the lane. I'm chilling. He'll never kill me. I have so much armor. And it's a Nomar Timbersaw, right? What, one of the best timbers in the world, not the
if
best?
Not, absolutely, if not the best, yeah.
His impact hasn't been that much, and I don't think it's really his fault.
No,
Like,
he did it. He was farmed, right?
It's even hard to say that it's anyone in particular on Falcons like playing necessarily bad in this game, right? It just feels like they're all doing what they want to do, but Tundra's doing it better. They're bringing more heroes to these fights. They're showing up better. You could point to a Mars or to Malreen's mid lane, but that's not really his fault. He's picked Pango and a Monkey
That's
King.
the matchup.
He's
yeah,
going to
beats him,
lose.
crushes him.
It's one of those. I felt these games a lot where it feels almost hopeless to some extent, where you'll watch the game back and everything just feels bad. All of your movements are hard, and oftentimes that is based a lot on either drafting or the laning stage. Like when the games feel this way, it's usually one of the two, and usually a combination of both, if anything.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy there as well. Look,
yeah,
during this Aegis time, and getting 8 buildings out of the map.
5 minutes.
Yeah, you can't get much more than that done with an Aegis there. Tundra maximizing their lead insanely against Falcons in this game too.
And now it also begs the question of how good is Phantom Assassin? Is this a thing that is this a Tundra?
Will they do this again? Is Tundra just going to be like next series?
Phantom Assassin.
Phantom Assassin first.
Other teams going to start copying this too.
Now let's have a look. Deracho, he's going to find the back lines straight in. Malorine dead. He's ready to start cleaning up more here as they've got the setup with the Wukongs. Come on, crit's
Golem comes
gone.
out.
Amar, he's going to be going down. They're going to tap out. 27 minutes in. GG is called. It's over. It's 2 games. Both of them going at Tundra. And indeed, Deracho, as I say in this game too, he doesn't die at all. They first